All right, here we are, part 2 of several series of this build on Black Mamba. That's now what this Landcruiser's name is. This is a diesel Landcruiser. That's why to the bottom right you see the 50 kg sticker. And look at that stance. So we put 35, and those are 12.5-inch wide 17s. And it just stands so tall in the back. So nice. But we'll see, because in the second stage we are putting a rear bumper. But before we do that, I'd like to ask the subscribers, other Landcruiser lovers, their opinion. So you can comment below. So I'm going to be doing, as you can see, this build, it's black and silver, or gray, if you will. So different tones of gray. I want to introduce a third color subtly on the truck. I think that's kind of cool when you have subtle, not too much. And what it's going to be in different areas, something so subtle like this little plastic cover that covers the hub. So I could go without it, right? And if I go without it, it just looks like this. Just going to be black sticking out. And I think that's still a clean look. So that's one of the choices. Or if we're going to do a color theme, as you can see, that plastic, and the outer part is cut out. These are fuel wheels. It would have said fuel, have their logo on it. But as you guys know, with Landcruisers, the center hub, the floating hubs that stick out, does not permit that. That's why this is cut out. So I could either put it on there or not use it at all. But those pieces are black. So that one is like a light moss green, which kind of goes well with the gray and the black. Or let's look at this side. The other choice would be this green. This is a darker green. It's a plasti dip color, camouflage green. So a little bit darker, right? So put that in the memory bank. So that's the dark green choice. Choice number 3. Choice number 2 was the moss lighter green, which kind of blends in as the accent color. Or choice number 1, nothing at all. Just raw floating hub sticking out. So comment below and let's see what's the most popular, and that's the way I'll go. So nothing at all, or for a third introduced theme color, that's choice number 2. So 1 is nothing, 2 is the light green, and 3 is the darker green. All right, another choice, because this part 2 of this build is putting a rear bumper. Even though that is a sweet bumper, I will keep it in the event of resale one of these years. But this has a turbo sticker, and that indicates it's a turbo diesel. It also has 4-wheel drive, VX Limited. So a little bit of badging, whereas the FZJ 80s that we get here in the US don't have that type of badging. And then this is very custom badging, Slee Built, right? So Slee Built because of the Slee bumper. And that is the new Slee bumper. That is the bumper that is going on Black Mamba. So the question is, no sticker at all, leave it turbo, or remove the turbo, because I think it would be too busy in the back. Remove the turbo and put the Slee Built, which would be a little lower. It would go here versus the turbo. I think both of them is too much, and the colors aren't exactly the same. So nothing, turbo sticker, or Slee Built. So give me your feedback in the comments. But now, as part 2 of this video, because part 1 were those wheels, if you haven't seen it, I'll have a link at the end of this video. And I'm gonna start working. Gonna take this bumper off and get that Slee bumper on and see what that looks like. One of the hardest things in getting prepped to put the bumper is not so much this side. Gotta have your bracket in. So it's really gonna be held by that point and then to the wing. And then two back here and 2 on this frame here. What's so difficult about this is getting the hanger bracket, because this, you're gonna do the 4 bolts on a Slee on this side. The other side, it's just the bottom bolt. You could optionally put something here, but there's there's no receptacle, it's just a hole, right? That's just a hole. You know, you put a screw in there, it's not going to do anything. This has backing, right, to screw into. But that is so difficult because it is such a compromising spot. Taking it off with the bumper in the way is so hard. Putting it on, not so much. But we're getting ready. There's the cross member. Those of you who put on 4x4 labs, you got to cut your cross member off. And something just sounds so wrong about cutting your cross member, right? So at least with the Slee, you can put it on, take it off, go back to OEM, because who knows, maybe one day I go back to OEM. But let's get the bumper on. I've got my helpers. All right, there it is on. So I got that on late last night, had a couple floodlights, so I didn't film that, but I had some help. You basically need 3 people to put it on. One person holds the hoop, the other person the other hoop, and we slid it on like so. And all that stuff was already on the bumper, so I didn't even take it off the spindles. So that was pretty easy. It's literally 6 bolts holding this thing in. I did add for a bike carrier, so that does kind of hold it in as well, like a bracket, because that's going into the cross member. But I'll tell you, the hardest thing was taking out this damn thing. A lot of Landcruisers already have this, so it fits underneath like so. Right here, let me show you. And it took me forever to get it out. My power tools didn't work on it. Hang on, let me get the angle. There we go, it's right there. So power tools didn't work. It was such a pain. But on this side of the truck, on the other side of the frame, there's built-in thread, like welded in. So there's no nut on the other side, you just screw it in. Same thing there. However, on this side, not the same story. I only got one in so far because I got to put a tube up that side because there's no threads, it's just a hole. So this one I had to feed the bolt coming down versus going up into a threaded piece because it's just a hole, like I said, and do my best to tighten it as much as possible. I'm still working on that one. It's not all the way in, but it's being held because there's 4 bolts on that bracket on the other side holding in the I guess the bracket for the exhaust, and on this side literally no bolts, it's optional. So those are just holes, but on the exhaust side it's again has the threads welded on the other side, so you just put a bolt straight in. But that's my dilemma, so I got to figure out how to get that last piece. Slee's telling me to put that there's a hole up there, and I put a flange tube up, so I got to research doing that. But what's strange is on the FZJ that I took this off, it did have a welded on the other side threads, so you could just screw it right in. So don't know why some of the frames have threads and some don't, but there it is. She is on, and it looks phenomenal. To me, this is my favorite because you don't cut the cross member like you would on some other bumpers. It's not overbearing. I'm not a big fan of when they have lights in it. To me, it looks a little cheapo. You already have lights on the truck, so why take away from it? Rock crawling lights, sure, but not tail lights like a yellow, white, red like ARB has. And I love the hoop. Just such a clean look, and look how clean that is on the back. So we do have to add a tire. I do have a jerry can holder, so I'm gonna add that as well. And like I said, whatever color you guys vote on in the for my accent color, I'm gonna do some stuff back here with that to pull that accent color. And look how phenomenal this is. I love it compared to the other bumper, which you'll see my old one here in a second, but let me show you this. So one hand, pull it down, pop it, and go. So there's the strike plate, and it holds in the other bar. So it goes in like so, and then you just take your finger and put it up. So I did unscrew this and I had to flip it around, so it was this way, and I got a call or a message from Christo over at Slee. He saw one of my videos and he's like, hey, do you know this is not right? That's my Cristo accent. So I was like, hey, thanks, man. So just undid these, flipped it around. Now it's good. But let's take a look at my other bumper, the old school Slee. Okay, there is my old school Slee on Otis. I'll do a comparison of these two trucks at some point. So this one, you know, different look. It's got the tubular bar versus the flat bar. And I do have another video showing, you know, new Slee versus old Slee. But as I was mentioning, this, a lot different. So got to pop it off, and then you got to go to the side. I'll just show it here, and then see that locks it in, whereas the new Slee doesn't have that system. So you cannot film and open up the back of the old school, but I still like it. It's still functional. Love those. That's the old school wheel I was talking about earlier, so I still like that look. This is a Bomber product. They went out of business. This holds like action tracks or max tracks. Just the pressure of the board sitting on the tire holds it in with cool screw-in pieces that go in with the Bomber products insignia logo on it. But something is to be said. Someone in my first video said, I like the OEM wheels, and I agree. They're beautiful. The only thing is these aren't bead lockers. And then BFGs or Toyo MTs, what do you guys think? I have a video on my channel too comparing those two products. Yeah, so the old school wheel, I dig it. All right, so yeah, subscribe to my channel. You'll see the different old school, new school side by side, and I will do a comparison of the FZJ 80, that's Otis, and of course the this one, Black Mamba. So I'll do a review of the engines, the differences, right-hand drive versus left-hand drive, so on and so forth. And the difference of the builds. Otis is a little over-the-top build with lots of gadgets and cool stuff on it. This one I'm keeping a little more streamlined, as you will see in the coming videos. So let me get the tire on the back, see if I got bolts for the jerry can holder, and then I'll give a final view of that before stage 3 of the 80 Dream build. So let me get that tire on. Okay, here we are for the final reveal of step 2, stage 2 of this build, which is the rear bumper. So of course stage 1 was those wheels, and here is the Slee bumper. I've gotta love that hoop on the side. It's such a clean, great fit. I think it looks great on this vehicle. So the jerry can holder, I'm going to do something cool because this isn't accessorized yet. I got to still put on action tracks. That's like max tracks, only better, made in the USA. I'm actually a distributor of that, so if you want some, hit me up. I got them discounted, so they're awesome boards. So you'll see that on here in the final video coming up in about a week. And yes, you're probably noticing the rear tire is different than those fuels. So I've got a Alpha equipped Delta wheel back there. So I think in a way, when you have 4 wheels and your spare is different, it's cool. However, I think I should keep it within the same family of fuel. So I may put an all black fuel Zephyr back there, maybe the fake beadlock one, not the fully beadlock one. Big difference in price. Those beadlocker ones are like $620, and I think the non-beadlocker like in the $200 range. But you know, it's a spare, so all black in the back. I might do that, and then when you come to the side, it's kind of like surprise gunmetal, you know, two-tone with the black ring. But that's the wheel I have right now, is the Alpha back there. Different look. And definitely have some plans for this jerry can. All those circles back here, I might put a light. I might put 2 lights for reverse or for the trail, so that could be cool. And maybe make them a little bit stealth, like tint them so they're there, you see them, but they don't jump out at you as being white lights. And the jerry can I have in store for this is going to be very cool. It's gonna go with the theme. So all in all, looks great. And I love the fact that the exhaust just sits perfect underneath the bar. Maybe some D-rings, and I did add the tow hitch because I got a Sur-Ron E motocross, and I've got a specialized mountain bike, so I can throw them on the back of this at any time. Maybe in the final reveal I'll throw one on there for you to see what that looks like. Okay, so step 1, wheels. Step 2, the rear bumper. Remember, let me know what you think about the colors. I do like those old school hella spots up front. That's going to play into the color theme. So there you go. Got to put a hijack lift. I already got it, but waiting to get your guys' feedback on the color theme, because I'm going to Rust-Oleum that hijack lift because they all rust. They even deliver rust, as I mentioned. So let me know your thoughts on that dark green or the light green. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. And check the other videos. Otis that you saw earlier in this video, I've got a full video on that. And like I said, I'll do a comparison of the two, of the diesel experience in a Landcruiser and an FZJ gas. Coming along, polished running boards, as silver as they can be, but still a couple things still need to be done on this build. Let me give you a sneak peek. Okay, in part 3 of this build, here's my sneak preview of what's gonna be happening. See if you can guess what goes on Black Mamba next. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and definitely subscribe, hit that alerts, and soon we will get the next video on Black Mamba. Just needs some color, needs some accessorizing, and needs something on the roof. All right, happy trails. Come up with a video soon.